And suddenly we are here with a very special guest on this morning Shabbos, ladies and gentlemen. This Shabbos just before Hanukkah. Oh my God, I am delighted and excited to be talking here. By the way, I am Rabbi Sol Solomon, founder and spiritual leader of Temple Sons of Bitches in Great Neck, New York. And I have done theater and I've written songs and things, but this woman here has written shows for family audiences and regular ones too. She's a comedian, a songwriter, a playwright, a lyricist, an English professor, a motivational speaker, and an author. She's author, by the way, of a book that we will talk about where she interviewed legendary comedians. And, although she herself is not bear, she usually carries a bear with her. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome at the bottom of your screens, Dr. Sue Horowitz. Shalom, Dr. Sue.
Shalom, shalom, shalom. So nice to be here. I heard that song playing and I said, oh my God, what is it? It sounds so familiar. And then I realized it was me.
Yes, senility is kicking in early, I guess. You don't recognize yourself immediately?
You didn't tell me you were going to play it. And I hear this song, Suddenly There's You. And I mean, you didn't tell me you're going to play my song. And I'm hearing it and I'm like, wait a minute, that's my song.
It's a surprise. By the way, is there a way you can angle?
Great surprise.
Now, the thing is, are you like when they saved Hitler's head or something like that? Is there a way to see a little bit more of your...
No, wait a minute. It's the tilt of the Zoom. So let me see if I can fix that. Just a moment.
Oh,
I know what I will try to do.
Or you can just sit like you're sitting now, so you take up a little.
What I can do is I can just tilt it like that. How's that?
Oh, there you go. Now you look like a person, not just a disembodied scalp.
These Zoom things make me crazy. There we go.
Oh, look at that. There we go. And I love your background. It's very winter autumnal, if that's a word.
Yeah, you know what that is? That's a beautiful impressionist painting of winter. And one of the things I started to do is post singing Shakespearean virtual art videos. So from the National Museum of Art, this woman, very nice woman, she found me on Facebook and she said, oh, we would love you to put your video, your art blog on our site. And yeah, that was very exciting. I was very happy and excited. So she sent me by email attachments and paintings. And I thought, well, this would make a really nice background. This kind of soft winter scene. And that's what you're looking at. You're looking at a real painting by an American.
I have to say that like Monet and Matisse, the one thing their teachers told them is always make a good impression.
Yes, that's right.
I get the little comedy there, little humor right there. So anyway, we have a question for you there. What was your question? Oh, that's right. I'm still on the feed here. I forgot to change my name on the thing. I'm going to rename myself the name of the program so people aren't confused that this is, I'm Rabbi Sol. Dave is the host of the program. So it is good to talk with you, Dr. Sue. So Dr. Sue, have you been tested? Are you healthy? Are you safe? By the way, I'm talking about herpes now, not, no.
Oh, really? I didn't know we were going to get poisonal. We're going to get
they're very personal. We talk about everything.
By Ruth Bader Ginsburg, poisonal poils, see?
Oh, very nice.
Yes. Very nice. I was so thrilled that her pearls became fashionable in a political statement. I mean, so you can see how I like to dress. I like the pearls. I like the scarf. I like that kind of thing.
For me, in the Orthodox community, what's happening is that Rudolph Giuliani's hair dye is now becoming a fashion statement. So if you go to the Fabrengen, if you go to the shuls, as I think, because they love Giuliani, they love Trump, so they're putting the hair dye in, and during the services, which take like 4 hours, they're just letting it drip, and then it's wonderful.
Oh my God, that is amazing. That is, what a fashion statement.
Isn't it?
A fashion statement that's a drip. It's a crazy thing.
But are you, have you been healthy? Have you gotten the corona?
I'm perfectly healthy. I don't get sick.
Toy.
Yeah, exactly. Thank God when I go into any indoor place, I wear a mask. I am 100% compliant. I'm not rude to people. I go in, I wear my mask and I wash my hands a lot and I don't go into crowds. I never go into crowds. The idea of crowding together, I say, stay at home, pray at home. God hears you, your neighbor doesn't have to.
This is good. I like this. I like this whole. I'm so cautious. I wear a mask, gloves, and a condom when I'm in a crowd.
At all times, because you never know who's going to show up.
Never know. Absolutely never. So, if you were to describe yourself with one word, because you do so many different things, what is like the number one thing? Is it the speaker? Is it the writer? Is it the entertainer? What are you, Dr. Sue Horowitz?
I would say creative. It's kind of multimedia creativity because I like to do a lot of different things, and the form it takes is flexible. It takes different forms, but I just love to be creative. I like to think out of the box. I like to think if they say, well, you can't do it, or it's that thing, I like to say, maybe it can also be that other thing too. Maybe, that's like when COVID hit. Because I don't know how you found me, but a lot of people, because of the playwright thing and the theater thing, as soon as that hit, and this was back in March, I immediately said, we are not going to have live theater for a long time. And I am just going to do virtual stuff. I am going to do song videos, comedy videos. I'm going to get on that internet. I'm going to do that. I'm not going to worry about things that are not happening. I am going to jump into what is happening immediately.
Now, let me ask, speaking of jumping in, so you're a motivational speaker a lot, but you've also done straight stand-up comedy. Is that true?
I did, but you know what? I'll tell you the truth.
Tell
you the truth as opposed to telling you lies.
Lie to me. Sure.
Whatever people say, I'll tell you the truth, or I'll be honest, or honestly, I'm like, well, what do you do the rest of the time?
Yeah, well, before you just said that, what bullshit were you screwing in my ear? I was, now you're going to be honest with me. Okay, sure, go ahead.
No, I've done comedy, and I like to be funny. I don't know if you see any of my posts or my funny songs, but I do like to be funny. But the stand-up comedy world is very rough.
Oh, yeah.
It's a rough world, and honestly, it's too rough for me. It's too rough.
I tried. I got raped, so it was very.
Literally.
No, it wasn't clitoral. I don't have a clitoris. I've got my normal parts down there. But no, so it is. It's dog eat dog.
Yes, dog eat dog, and very often, and the idea that being, I can't help it when I talk, the English teacher in me comes out, that the idea that being gratuitously nasty is funny.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Yeah,
to me,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the idea that being gratuitously, like being mean for no reason. I mean, I've stood in line, waiting to go on stage in these comedy clubs, and some guy, I didn't even know him. I didn't know this guy. He calls out something nasty to me, and I'm like, I don't know you. Why are you picking on me? And I guess he's picking on me because, I'm a woman. He thinks he can get away with it. And I'm like, I don't necessarily want to be part of this world.
So was he doing that from the stage as part of the act, or was he just there behind you also waiting to go on and just being a jerk?
Sometimes they're behind, sometimes they're online. And I one of them, I heard on stage, from the stage. Yeah. That was where I made my mistake, because from my academic background, so I was used to sitting in the front, to get the professor's attention, to study, that whatever. But that was a mistake when I went to those comedy clubs. Oh boy, did I discover that was a mistake.
They sat in the front and they targeted you. Oh.
Of course they targeted me. And I didn't even dress like this. I didn't wear the pearls. I didn't wear the scarf. I didn't dress like, like this matron. I dressed, like everybody dresses, in a t-shirt or, whatever was the style.
Yeah.
But, you could take one look and say, oh, that's my target. That looks a little bit like mom, and I am going to pick on her.
Well, but if it's from the stage, I'm sorry, but all's fair. If they were doing it off stage and just being jerky to you to try and get over on you, but if they're on stage and trying to get the audience and do the act and they see you there, it may be nasty, but they're going to go. They're going to go right at you.
No. And that's how I learned to sit in the back.
Mm. All right. But you just
this is the deal. Sit in the back. Yep.
But it wasn't for you. You decided that.
More credit to the people who can do it. I'm just not that tough. I'm not that tough. I like to be funny and I like to sing, and that's kind of more my ballpark.
Now, when did you start writing not just songs, but you've written a couple of musicals? Tell us about these.
Yes.
Yeah, please.
I would, actually, I love talking to you. I could come back again and again and just chat with you.
Let's see what kind of a guest you are before I make any promises. You might be boring me to tears.
What's in that cup? Best rabbi ever. What's in that cup? Who said that?
Oh, by the way, the congregation seems to be asking for a duet on us. So we'll see if we can do it.
Well, in Zoom, there's a time delay. I don't really know if you can do that. I think you have to take turns.
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know how they do this because they have all these benefits and these things you can watch where all the musicians sing live together, or they've got a couple. How do they do that?
When they do that, yes, they have special technology for that.
Oh, I was wondering. Yeah.
They have special. If to have sound from two places come on at the same time, you need special technology. If you're going to take turns, I actually wrote a take turn song, because I thought about this Zoom, and I wrote this song. The words are really simple, deliberately simple. And it was so that it could be, we could sing it taking turns. And it's called Friends Are Soul Food.
Friends Are Soul Food. Can you sing, not to put you on the spot, but I'm going to put you on the spot. Can you just sing a little a cappella of this? Friends Are Soul Food? Oh, yeah.
A cappella, because otherwise I got to handle the computer and the keyboard, and you can't. It's just a lot.
Are you not going to do it?
It's easier, but I will sing that one verse.
Sing the voice.
Okay. Friends are soul food. Friends are soul food. Sing a song, I'll sing along, and we'll make harmony. Friends are soul food. Friends are soul food. Let me show you how I care. Oh, won't you sing with me?
That is very nice and very true in these times. Is that from a show, or is that? No, you said you wrote it just off the cuff.
Yeah, I wrote it because I wanted to write. I wanted to write a simple song about friendship and singing.
Well, let me ask. We kind of got diverged from you're talking about like the first musical you wrote. We're trying to actually write a whole show rather than individual cabaret type songs.
Okay, so here's the advantage of writing a whole show. You can write a lot of songs. You can write a lot of stuff. Plus, you've got a story. And there's a challenge because nowadays, the idea with musical theater is that all the songs should move the plot forward. And you'll hear some people say, yeah, all the songs should move the plot forward. But actually, that is not traditionally the case, because those big hit songs that came out of musicals, they were part of the show, but they could also have an independent life. And I like to write, some of my songs, they move that story forward, and some of them are characters. They talk to each other, and by the end of the story, the end of the song, they're in a different place than they were at the beginning of the song. And that is a musical theater song.
Right.
So a song, like that, I can do that. I know what that is, and that's a theater song. It moves the action, but also you can have a song that can be in the show, but also can have an independent life. Or what I do, because I'm kind of a waste not, want not type of girl, what I'll do is I'll write the song for the show, and then if I really like it, if I like the music, maybe I'll tweak the lyric a little bit so that it can also have an independent life.
Well, actually, when I write musicals, I put in songs that move the story backward. When the song is over, the audience has no idea what the hell's going on. They're following a character, now the character is suddenly completely different. I'm like, okay, and now let's get back to it. I just do that, And I'm also a waste not Okay, I'm Jewish, of course I'm not.
Not. Exactly.
I mean, I have jugs of urine in the garage just because I will not wait. Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. What's good urine? You know, I don't collect it when I'm sick. Just when I'm
let me ask you a question.
Yes.
What were you thinking of using it for?
Well, I haven't gotten that far yet.
Well, actually, I know the answer to that question.
Oh, please, what?
I happen to know the answer to that question, weird as it may seem.
Tell me.
Okay, so one thing I like to do is go to museums, and I wear my mask, of course, but I love to go to museums. And at the Museum of Natural History, they have a special exhibit on the nature of color, and they talked about indigo. Indigo is one of the earliest color dyes, and indigo, it's a plant. It's a natural plant. It's one of the oldest dyes. And when it's in its natural form, it looks kind of green like most plants. But if you boil it up in a big vat and you treat it with something, when it comes out into the air, it turns blue, indigo blue. And guess what they treat it with?
Borscht. No, wait, no, it wasn't borscht. No. With pea? They treat indigo with pea? Wow.
Probably not anymore, but they used to, because nitrous oxide and the chemical interacting with the plant, when they bring it back out into the air, you'd get this blue color. And it was a major dye that was traded all around the world. And at one point in the slave trade, the transatlantic slave trade, excuse me again, it's my academic background. The transatlantic slave trade was fueled not only by cotton and sugar, but indigo.
Indigo, and the French painters used it a lot, which is why if you see a French painting that you like, you go, oui, oui. But we're talking to Dr. Sue. Dr. Sue, I need a noise.
That's funny, yeah.
Dr. Sue is talking with us. By the way, while we have you, and you're staying for the quiz, I hope. You're going to stick around.
I'm not going to participate. I could just watch. I'm not good at trivia.
Well, you don't have to be good.
I don't know stuff. I watched your guys doing that trivia, and they knew all this stuff, and I didn't know it. So I'm not going to do it. I'll just watch it. Maybe I'll make little remarks.
Well, or you physically will still want to be on camera while the thing is going. You kind of want to be a commentator.
Well, but I don't think I should do the trivia because I don't think I know anything.
You seem to know quite much. Doctor, you seem to you know about indigo dye being mixed with pea, and you think you're not going to know the answer to trivia questions. So, you know about French Impressionist painters. Yeah, that was one of the. I got to cross that one right off. Let me tell you. But let me ask you also a little bit about your book, Queens of Comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah. You put out a book because you were able to interview four legendary, funny women. Tell us about this book that you wrote. Yeah.
Yes, I wrote Queens of Comedy. And the original title was actually the title of my PhD dissertation. And the original title was Funny Women, a Study in Female Comedic Personae.
All right.
And I was very proud of that title. And I went in to my dissertation advisor. I thought I was very clever that I came up with this idea and that title. And my dissertation advisor said to me, Miss Horowitz, you spelled it wrong.
Wait a minute. So,
I spelled it wrong. It's supposed to be, apparently, she was very good at spelling, unlike me. It's supposed to be Personae. And I spelled it wrong. And she thought, I said, fine, let's fix it. She was a very good advisor because she was tough and she was very good at those little details, spelling and footnotes and getting all that stuff right. And I'm not that good. I'm not that interested in it.
Who is? Who the hell is? Oh, let's go into those footnotes.
Yeah, I was. In fact, I didn't even do correct. My footnotes were not correct.
That's the problem. You cannot have that.
I don't think I ever wrote a foot. But, she made me do it, and you have to do it to pass. I was interested in all these sort of creative connections and God knows what. But she made me get all those details right, and I passed, and I got the degree.
What was, you're trying to prove something with a doctoral dissertation. So what were you proving about women in comedy? What was your thesis?
Okay, so my thesis is that there's a kind of triangular balance of power of comic appeal, sex appeal, and look at you.
I'm there for 2 out of 3. What's the third?
Yeah, comic appeal, sex appeal, and a kind of a power projected in the world, like like money and stuff. I'll give you an example.
I'm stuck on that.
Let me give you an example, because this is a dissertation, so I had my thing. Plus, I interviewed all these super famous people, which that was a story in itself. So.
And that's the story we're going to be talking about in a moment or two.
Yeah.
But talk a little bit more about this.
So Joan Rivers, for example, she said, Joan Rivers was one smart cookie.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, very smart. And she was very nice to me. People are surprised because she had this very bitchy persona on stage, but in person, she was very nice to me. Anyway, she said, if I say that I have no sex appeal, then it's okay with the audience that I get up there in $200 shoes. And I thought, wow, that lady, she is smart. And that is the thesis of my book. She's basically saying, I can balance it. If I say I have no sex appeal, and look how much comic appeal I have, everybody is laughing at me. And look how I'm showing off my wardrobe and my fancy shoes and this and that. It's just too much. An audience cannot accept it. They become envious and resentful. So therefore, since I'm going to stand up there, and she dressed to the nines. I mean, she dressed very well when she was on stage. She didn't dress like some poor comic. She dressed like a wealthy upper middle class matron. She dressed very well. And as a matter of fact, she was not unattractive. She was as attractive as she could be. She always said she was unattractive. She always said she had no sex appeal. But in fact, she was attractive. She was quite attractive. She was attractive.
She was attractive when her face was down here and when it was up there. She was going on both ways. But the thing is, so what you're saying is that
reasonably attractive. She wasn't Marilyn Monroe, but she was reasonably attractive.
But in terms of the women thing, so you're saying that there cannot be was isosceles all 3 angles the same? So it can't be isosceles triangle. It's got to be scalene, because one angle has to be off kilter. They can't be beautiful, well and funny.
When you say scalene triangle, what it reminds me of? It reminds me of that Dolly Parton song, Jolene.
Scalene. Oy, my throat there.
No, Jolene, please don't take me, man, just because you can. Now, as a matter of fact, now that you're bringing up the subject, it comes. Not that you brought it up, I brought it up, but who cares? Okay. So now that you bring up, or I brought up, the subject, Jolene actually completely supports my thesis, because there's Dolly Parton. My God, she's got this blonde wig. She's got this huge bazooms. She's dressed to the nines.
Wait.
And
I never noticed. I gotta look at some pictures of her. I never noticed. Really, she's got, go figure.
I know.
She's got the imagery. She's got the physical presence like that of the trappings of a beautiful woman, if you will.
That's right. And in fact, it's cartoony. It is to the point of being cartoony. I mean, you can hardly believe it's real. So anyway, so there she is with her big wig, her fancy, expensive clothes, her big bazooms. And what is she singing? She's singing, Jolene, you're so beautiful. Please don't take my man just because you can. And we're all sympathizing with Dolly Parton because she's not pretty enough to keep her man. She's worried that Jolene, whoever she is going to take her. Take the guy.
How does that fit the triangle theory? How does that fit the idea?
Because there she's got her sex appeal.
Right.
She's got her talent appeal. In this case, it isn't comic appeal, but it's talent appeal. She's got sex appeal, talent appeal. She can sing, by the way, very nicely and play that guitar and write those songs. She's got a lot of talent appeal. She's got talent appeal. She's got sex appeal. So what about that third part? Should she also have appeal on that? No, it's too much. She has to sing about how she's worried that Jolene is going to take her man.
I mean, that is just one song, but in a lot of her songs, she's kind of the down-home country girl. That's sort of what she's playing. She's not this fabulously wealthy Grand Ole Opry, Dollywood star. So Jolene is just one number, but in a lot of her numbers, it's kind of like, oh, I remember my old Appalachian home. So
yeah, right. I was poor, we grew up poor, but we had. She's not going to sing, oh, I am so gorgeous and I see your man and I'm going to take him just because I can.
Well, have the rap women finally upended that triangle? Can the rap stars do that now? Because they can be talented, they can show off their bling, and they can be really front forward like the men.
Well, wow. Well, you're getting into the area of rap, and I'm wearing my Ruth Bader Ginsburg foils. I am not exactly a rap expert.
Oh, like I am.
But for quite a while, those rap women, when you had the rap male artists, they were front and center, and then the women were these sort of decorative, sexy arm candy. That was
nothing wrong with that. But okay, continue.
What were you? So you want to be arm candy? This is your goal. You want to be arm candy. It's true, you do.
I definitely want to be arm. I'll be leg candy. You can put me as candy anywhere. I'm fine. I can be elbow candy.
We all want that. All these smart people. What do we want? We want to be arm candy. Professor Horowitz. I think of you as arm candy.
Speaking of being
my goal to be arm candy.
Why not? Come on, let's face it. The smart people want to be beautiful. It's the old song.
Hey.
The rich people want what the poor people got, and the poor people want what the skinny people got. Nobody's happy with what they got. Everybody wants to be the other thing that they're not. He wants to be a painter. He's one of the best singers ever. Nah, I want people to appreciate my painting. It's kind of like
that's right. We all want to be. Well, we're not, and we think that somehow it's somehow better. It's not, but that's the tendency. Well, we were talking about my musicals, and then I wound up having to talk about raps. What do I know about that?
Well, we'll get back to the musicals, but I do want to hear about stories of interviewing people like Joan Rivers. These legends that you talk. Who else is in the Lucille Ball? Right? You talk to her? No.
Yes. Yeah. So
Lucille Ball story.
How I got the interview, or you want to hear about the actual interview, or both, or whatever,
Yeah, no, something interesting, something funny, something we don't know about Lucy.
Oh, about Lucy. Okay, now
Lucy Arnaz has
not about me. Not about me, but about Lucy.
Oh yeah,
you want to know about
alive. She's dead. Tell me about her.
All right, we'll talk about her. Why Lucy? Why not me? I'm alive. She's dead. Why are they interested in her? And she has a lot of attention. Do I have as much attention as Lucille Ball? No, I do not have as much attention as Lucille Ball. But they want to talk about Lucille Ball and not me. But I'll do it because I know what low-level cads they are. Okay, so we will talk about Lucille Ball. Here's one of the interesting things about Lucille Ball is that she made her huge success playing this character, Lucy Ricardo, who is, of course, very far from the real Lucille Ball. Lucy Ricardo was this kind of dizzy, inept housewife without any talent trying to get into show business. That was her character, okay? Lucille Ball had already been in show business for at least 20 years. She was the queen of the B movies. She was, she was beautiful. She was tough. She had her husband, Desi Arnaz, a Latin husband that CBS told her the American public would never accept, but of course they accepted him very well. And she was playing this kind of ditzy, confused character. She was not ditzy. She was not confused. She was really smart. And even though, I went in there interviewing her as a reporter, I got a magazine assignment. So she knew that whatever she said to me would be easily in print. I didn't go as just like a fan. I went in as a reporter. So she was, of course, disposed to be nice to me. And she was nice to me. They were all very nice to me. But you could hear once or twice when something, catch her up, you could hear that edge of toughness in her voice. I mean, you could hear it. Oh, and something else that now I'm just reminded of now. Because, of course, playing that Lucy Ricardo, living in a crummy apartment, no education, no whatever. As we're doing the interview, because I did the interview in her apartment that she owned in New York City, and hanging on the wall was a Monet.
Whoa.
Yep. So brings us right back to that painting hanging on the wall.
Yeah.
Me virtually hanging on the wall was a Monet, and I certainly knew better than to ask, "Is that an original?"
I'll bet it wasn't. I'll bet she had the original.
Ask that question.
And she put that up there just to impress people, but no, the real Monet.
No, she put it up because she owned a Monet. If I was Lucille Ball, I might own a Monet, and she certainly did. And she was very nice. I mean, she gave me, I came in, it was a pouring rain day, and my taxi didn't know how to get to her address. Thank God I did, or I wouldn't have shown up. I mean, thank God. My taxi driver didn't speak English, and it was a thunderstorm. I thought, oh my God, this is the most important interview of my life. This is Lucille Ball, and my taxi driver cannot get me there. But fortunately, we got there.
And California or New York? Where did this take place?
It was in New York.
Was she doing? How long ago was this? Why was she in New York?
Well, she was in New York because the Museum of Television and Radio, which is now called the Paley Center, I believe, was holding a special, what do you call it? Not a panel, because she was the only one, but she was on stage and she was being interviewed on stage. It was a
retrospective and kind of I get it. So, let me ask you, by the way, we're talking with Dr. Sue Horowitz, who wrote this book called Queens of Comedy. And even though we want to talk about you, Dr. Sue, it is also interesting that in the book you talk to Carol Burnett and Phyllis Diller. So, and we mentioned Lucy and Joan Rivers. So do you have a Carol Burnett or a Phyllis Diller story to share?
Well, of course, because of course I met them all. In fact, not only did I meet them, but we had these long personal interviews, and I have audio recordings of all the interviews. Not only the book, but I have those audio recordings. So in their own voice, you can hear them give advice about comedy. It's really something special.
Absolutely.
And anyway, so I interviewed them all, and what was the thing that I think I really impressed me. Part of it, they were all very kind to me. They were nice to me. The only people who were ever unprofessional or unkind when I was doing all these interviews were people who were not so successful, and they sometimes gave me trouble. But
name names. Tell me. Come on. No. Yes.
No. Like a comedy routine. No. Yes.
All right.
Anyway, so I have to say something because I know it's confusing. My real name is Susan Horowitz. And the Dr. Sue is kind of like my stage name. Because, and I'll tell you why. It's very simple. Just so many people named Susan, and so many people named Susan Horowitz, that people could not find me. I didn't even know if they were talking to me. They'd say Susan. I'd turn around and it wasn't me. So I decided, I needed a name that was cute and catchy and was a little bit different. So Dr. Sue, and I am a doctor.
And you are a doctor, indeed. That's, although you would not look at my carbuncle, which I found upsetting.
God. I will not.
Ask me for anything. It was
no.
made me mad a little bit. I mean, you went to Yale Drama School, didn't you?
I did, yes.
Wow, wow. I am very, what did you learn there? What did they actually, the most important thing they taught you in Yale? Oh, they let a Jewess into Yale. Whoa. What did you?
The Jewess was not the problem. I never had any Jewish problems at Yale. But I was at Yale. I was in the drama school, of course, studying to be an actress. And there I was. But I had come out of University of Chicago. You know University of Chicago?
I don't know it, but I've heard of it. It's a university. It happens to be in Chicago. It's a good name for it.
University of Chicago is this very intellectual school.
Oh.
And they teach you critical thinking. In other words, you hear something, you analyze it, and you figure out what you really think of it. That's what they teach you at the university.
This is what they should be teaching at all universities, but all right, yeah.
That's what they teach at U of C. So there I am at Yale Drama School. I did the audition as an actress. I never thought I'd get in. I did it, but, I had no training. I didn't know anything. I did that audition for Yale. And I remember, because I had no acting training, nothing. And my mother coached me. And then I was originally going to do that scene. There's a scene from Chekhov's Cherry Orchard.
Yes, as opposed to Mervyn Finkelstein's Cherry Orchard, which people don't know, but is almost as good. But
almost as good.
Orchard, yeah.
Almost as good. And a middle-aged woman looks out at all these cherry trees in blossom, and she thinks about her life, my life, my cherry orchard. And my mother said, I think it should go something like this. And then she did it. And she was so good. And I looked at her and I realized, of course, my mother could have been an actress. And I realized that I should not do that scene.
Oh.
I realized that was a bad choice for me.
Well, you were too young. You were 22 or something? Yeah.
Exactly. I was the wrong age and I shouldn't do it. I should do something else. As soon as I saw her do that, I realized. And that was a very important thing to realize, because then I picked some other material,
You went to Yale Drama School. So again, what is if you could pinpoint one thing that a director told you or a professor told you there about acting, about living, about anything?
Well, I'm trying to remember. Let's see. They did teach us the method. You know what the method is? You know what the acting method is?
Kind of, but explain it for everybody. So I can't believe that.
The acting method is that when you're playing a part, you're playing a character, and you should find something in your own life that you can relate to, that somehow connects with this situation. And that's what you should play. So you should play the personal truth of that moment, of that character. And that's what you're playing, using the character and the words of the playwright. That's essentially the method, or as far as I remember it, that's the method. So that is, listen, what I just told you could save yourself thousands of dollars on a Yale education. If any of your viewers want to act, you could do that. That's the method. I've never done it, but I could actually coach people, because there was a young lady, she was trying to get into, and a friend of mine was, kind of teaching her or something. She was trying to get into the NYU theater program, and she had these monologues prepared. So my friend said, would you mind taking a look? I said, okay. So she did it for me, and as soon as she did it, I knew she made the wrong choice of material. I told her, don't do that. You pick some other material. Let's go find some better material for you. Just like when I saw my mother do it, I could see it was the wrong material. But she had the disadvantage of paying a coach, and the coach gave her bad advice. I had the advantage of not paying any coach, so I didn't have to listen to any bad advice.
Well, I mean, you're your friend's name was Myra Horowitz, and she was doing a scene from when colored girls, when the rainbow is enough. It just didn't really, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You have to know where you are. You have to know kind of who and when I say this, it's not like I always knew this because I made plenty of mistakes. But you have to try to figure out who are the players and what is the mission and what's the agenda and how do you kind of do that. None of which I figured out when I went to Yale. But I did, apparently, I must have done a good audition because I got in.
We have just a couple more minutes, so I'm going to ask a whole bunch of things, which I don't have time to do. But I guess, speaking of players and mistakes, you're single. How's that going?
Very well.
Is there
I'm in COVID. I'm actually fine. I hear, a lot of people, unfortunately, I'm sympathetic with them. They're having a hard time. And partly I'm sympathetic because, of course, some people have it much worse than me. If you have health problems, if you have economic problems, it's really, really rough. But sometimes the things that make them unhappy is like, I read these postings on Facebook. Someone posted, she was so unhappy. It's my 65th birthday, and I want to go out for a lobster dinner and champagne. And I thought, this is what's bothering you? This is your problem?
Well, you know what? I mean, we can make fun of that and say, oh, well, at least she's got the money to do that. She's all right. But at the same time, she might have thought, my 65th, you only get this once in a lifetime. And that's all she wants to do, and she can't do it. So we can make fun, but at the same time, this was a thing for her. And who knows what her other problems are and what else she can't do every single day because of the pandemic.
You're a rabbi. You're trained to be compassionate.
I'm not.
Dear Rabbi, in your expertise as a rabbi, I would like to ask you about.
Yes.
Yeah, I would like to ask you about that lobster dinner.
Oh my God. You just have to use margarine instead of butter because that makes it more kosher. But other than that, I'm fine with a lobster. Let me also ask you, Dr. Sue, we still have you. But you're not quite alone. I mean, you're single, but
no, I can't claim to be alone. I'm very connected. First of all, I'm very connected to my friends through phone calls, and my best dear friend comes and visits me, and we have dinner together, and I go out to parks, and I go out to museums, and
But even then, you don't go alone because you have
but I don't sit all by myself.
But there's a friend that you bring with you. Man, this is tough.
Oh yes.
Yes.
I know who you mean. Just a minute.
Yes, help me out here.
To see my friend on camera, you have to wait a moment because I have to get my friend.
Go get your friend. I'll tell people.
I'll get my friend. I'll be right back.
We'll do that. All right. We've been talking with Dr. Sue, or her other name is Susan Horowitz, by her book. It's called Queens of Comedy, based on interviews with Lucille Ball, Carol Burnett, Joan Rivers, and Phyllis Diller. Also, go to drsue.com, DRSUE.com, because this is the place where you can watch her videos that she posts on YouTube, hear her songs, see bits of her comedy and her motivational speaking, and just fun, nice ways of getting through this time. There we go. There it is. Shalom. Hello. What,
Hello.
Yeah. This is your friend Ted Lee, I do believe.
Yes, hello. I am Ted Lee.
Hello, Ted Lee. Shalom. So, Ted Lee, how did you come about?
Well, Ted Lee, I needed a friend in COVID. This was the early days, when things were really very hard. I must say, back in April and May, things were really hard in New York. I was in the epicenter of the pandemic, and things were really rough, and we were scared. And there was all this disease out there, and then we had the protests that were taken over, and there were looters, and they were smashing windows in Midtown Manhattan. Not only Midtown, I was in a walk I would go out to the park, you know, and it's sunset, and then just 15 minutes walk from me, they're smashing windows and looting and coming into my neighborhood. I'm not saying the legitimate protesters were doing this. I am saying there were plenty of people infiltrating those protests and doing this stuff, and there's all this stuff going on, and it was rough. It was rough in those days. Things have gotten better since, and I'm laughing now, but you know, things, you know, they're things, you know, they were rough.
But how did the bear?
I wanted to go out, and then I wanted to go, you know, I wanted to go to museums, I wanted to go to places, I wanted to go to parks, and then I got this idea of, you know, walking around in the park, and I needed a companion, and I couldn't have a human companion because, you know, everybody was contagious. So then I remembered, Tedley, set me free. I remember Tedley was, you know, up in my closet. I remember I had this teddy bear.
Well, you know, some bears are in the closet, especially if you're in the village. But, you know, I don't know what that means. So hold Tedley right there, because we're going to play a little bit more of your music, and then we're going to let in our guest to play the Today, Yesterday quiz with the producer of this program, Dave. He will be conducting that quiz. So you, Tedley, can kind of dance to the music here that we're going to play. It's another song by our guest, Dr. Sue. Let's do something holidaysical with her for Happy Hanukkah Christmas multicultural holiday song.
When I was a child, my school had a dream. It was perfect for Christmas. As for Jews, there was me. So I sang about Jesus and tried to belong. Today, here's my holiday song. There's all kinds of people. Why make a fuss? Happy Kwanzaa and Eid. Happy Hanukkah Christmas. Feliz Navidad. Happy Hanukkah Christmas. Now I'm diverse. I live in New York. I eat holiday meals with chopsticks and fork. I light Hanukkah candles, give dreidels a spin, sing White Christmas by Irving Berlin. There's all kinds of people. Why make a fuss? Happy birthday of Buddha. Happy Hanukkah Christmas. Feliz Navidad. Happy Hanukkah Christmas. Jolly old Santa is making his calls, and Hanukkah honey is decking my halls. I hang Mardi Gras beads on an evergreen too. I'm not pure, but for sure I'm a Jew. There's all kinds of people. Why make a fuss? Diwali and solstice. Happy Hanukkah Christmas. Feliz Navidad. Happy Hanukkah Christmas.
Little bit of music there from Susan Horowitz, a.k.a. Dr. Sue, with us in the neighborhood here on this Saturday, December 5th, 2020. It is our 775th episode. We're calling it Sue Me, because Sue is here with us and her friend Tedley the bear that is getting her through the pandemic. Now, also with us, now, and we're former president of somebody turn down your computer there. Thanks. But David,
can I add something?
Oh, yes, please, yeah.
Yeah, okay, because I think this is important.
Okay.
What you're playing is my original version of the song. And I changed the chorus, because the original version of the chorus was Happy Hanukkah Christmas. So what happened with this, to my surprise, I found that some people were offended by that word Hanukkah Christmas. I mean, I thought it was, you know, an innocent little song, you know. But I found that my Orthodox cousins, they did not like Hanukkah Christmas. In fact, they said, they wrote to me, they said, we love Susan, we love you, but we don't like that song. And I thought about it, and I thought, and then that was an unexpected surprise to me. And I was thinking about that. And I thought, gee, gosh, I wonder if some of the Christians are not going to like Hanukkah Christmas anyway. And how important is it to the song anyway? So I changed the chorus. I made a few minor changes in the verses, but I changed the chorus. And the chorus now in my latest version on YouTube, which I hope you will look for, I have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/Dr. Sue Comedian, or you could go into youtube.com and look up Dr. Sue Positive Entertainment.
Sure.
And
did you change the lyric?
I changed the lyric. Yeah. So the chorus goes, may peace in the world fly like a dove. May all of us celebrate all that we love.
Oh.
Peace in the world, fly like a dove. All of us celebrate all that we love.
It's not as cute, but it rhymes in a song. And honestly, I will be honest. When I was younger, I would have been offended, honestly, by that linking together of two holidays. Because if you're Jewish, you do, you know, it's a very separate thing. We're not celebrating Hanukkah and Christmas. So I thank you for doing that. I know you don't understand why the Orthodox would be so upset, because it's just holidays getting together. But those holidays are really not supposed to be together. And so I thank you for doing that, honestly.
Yes, what I did is I said, look, it's not that important. And there is I can make the solution to this.
Yeah.
And I think that actually the story of making the solution to this is the message of the song.
And if you're dealing with Jews, it's important to keep in mind the final solution. So there you go. I don't even know what that means. But
oh, dear. Oh, dear.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. That's David Sheward, by the way. As we mentioned, I can give you a full proper introduction. He is the blogger of thedaviddesk.com. He's also a writer for theatercircle.com and culturalweekly.com. Did I get them all? I got them.
You're lucky.
Wow.
How are you doing, Dave? Are you still... You're teaching in New York City? Are the kids there? Are they not there? What's happening over there?
We're all teaching. We're teaching remote. The younger kids are going back to school next week, but middle and high school, we don't know what's going to happen. The younger kids are going back.
So you're physically going to be in a classroom on Monday, right? Or not?
No, I'm going to be in my home. I teach high school, so high school is still remote. The younger students, primary grades, are going back on Monday.
Cool. Well, I mean, I don't know what the hell.
If their parents choose, you can still choose between one or the other.
I thought the New York Teachers Union was supposed to be like this big monster conglomerate thing that'd be smashing de Blasio with a hammer. Are they doing anything? I mean, how do you guys feel about all of that? I mean, you get to be home teaching remote. It's fine by you. But
yes.
How's everybody doing, I'm wondering.
What do you mean?
Well, in other words, are the teachers, are they going to be ordered back in January or?
Well, it's you can, if you have a medical, if you're over the age of 65, if you have a medical underlying condition, you can apply for an exemption and stay home and teach remotely.
Cool. I think that's fair. Yeah.
And the rest of us, we are in the building. And previously, it had been the kids were divided into 3 different cohorts, and they would a third the population. My school, a third the population was in the school at any one time, and that was just the ones that elected to come in person. So there were only a few hundred kids in the school at any one time. So it's interesting. Usually at this time of year, I've had at least 2 or 3 colds during normal times. And now, because I'm wearing a mask all the time and I have less contact with the kids, I haven't had a cold.
That is so interesting. I heard someone else say that. He said he always gets a November cold, but this year he did not.
Yeah.
So you didn't get colds.
Yeah, it's because we're wearing a mask all the time, and and there are fewer kids
and things like that too. But I'm glad you guys are both healthy. I'm glad you guys are both doing okay. Now here's the deal. I'm going to throw this open to Dr. Sue one more time. I'm going to give you the option to play our today yesterday game, or do you want to hang? By the way,
because I don't think I'm good at that stuff. So I'll just watch and sort of cheer people on.
All right.
Okay.
So, David, I'm afraid you're alone then on this game.
All right.
Because Leslie Kent called in earlier and said she couldn't.
Yes, I saw.
Yeah, you're so good. So she texted both.
Okay.
So it's
All
not
right.
really much of a. It'll be more like, hey, you're taking a quiz from me, David.
Okay, fine.
Well, then it's ruining the game. Well, then I can do it, and it's okay if I don't know stuff. It's okay. I'll do it.
Yes.
Celebrate all that we love. I'll do it.
Yeah, and the thing is, what you ought to know is most of our special guests who participate in the game, and we've had musician Vince Giordano playing the game, playwright Charles Mee. We've got a few people, come in and play this game, and most of the time they get goose egg. They get 0. And so if you get nothing, it doesn't even matter. It's fine. First of all, there's no prizes. There's no anything anyway. But you would not be the first, even if you get 0 points. You would just be continuing a magnificent tradition.
Do you think Leslie didn't go on because Dr. Sue has a bear and Leslie has a bear?
Oh, also, Joyce, my wife Joyce is here, and she's saying it's very possible that Leslie was intimidated by your having a bear, a much bigger bear than she has in her apartment. She's a very bear-philic, and yeah. Oh, I just can't bear this. So here's the deal. We're going to be playing with 2 contestants, our Today, Yesterday quiz on this Saturday, December 5th, 2000.
I'm excited!
Oh, what was that?
That's Tedley.
Scary.
Yeah, he's a scary bear. He is.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm not sorry.
But he's friendly. He's just his roar is scarier than his bite.
Exactly. So here's the deal. Here's the rules, because Dr. Sue you watched it once or twice, but you haven't played the game. So Dr. Sue will be playing against David Sheward. We have 2 contestants. What I will ask you guys to do, I'm going to need my little pen here, is to pick a number between 1 and 6. And I'm going to let, no offense, Dave, but I'm going to let Dr. Sue, she's the guest, go first. So pick a number between 1 and 6.
Do I say it out loud?
Yes, out loud, please.
5.
So Sue is for 5, and then David, please.
4.
4. David is 4. What I'm going to do is I'm going to digitally roll a die. Now, where's my little roll a die thing? It's over here. And so here goes. And the number is 2. That is the number that came up, which means that the person closest to that number is the person who picked 4, which is Dave. So, or David, excuse me. And David, you get to choose whether you want to go first or second in the game.
I will go first.
So David gets to go first, and Dr. Sue, you get to go second, okay? So David gets the very first question of our Today, Yesterday game here on December 5th. And the point of the game is, since it's December 5th, every one of these questions are about something that happened on December 5th in history, okay?
All right.
The year 1830, premiering tonight in Paris, a musical composition whose subtitle is translated as Episode in the Life of an Artist in 5 Sections. Leonard Bernstein has said of it, quote, "It's psychedelic. You take a trip, you wind up screaming at your own funeral." Name the composer for 1 point, and this program music piece for the second point.
1830?
Oh, I will read the question again. And by the way,
All
Dr. Sue, I just want to alert you that it's possible, although not necessarily likely, that the answer to one of these questions is Lin-Manuel Noriega. Just so you know. But
Solomon, tell her whenever she's stuck, she can say that.
whenever you're stuck, that's the thing to go with.
Okay, I'll have my own answer. Anyway.
Okay.
Well, but David gets to answer this one or try to answer first. Well, reading it. 1830 is the premiering in Paris, a musical composition whose subtitle is An Episode in the Life of an Artist in 5 Sections. Leonard Bernstein said it's psychedelic. You take a trip, you wind up screaming at your own funeral. Name this composer and this program music piece.
Vivian Bagley. No, I'm joking. Let's see. I'm gonna say it's 1830, huh?
Yeah, that is correct.
Huh. Well, and Paris. Well, that's about. The thing that leaps to mind is something called Symphonie Fantastique, and I forget who the composer of that is. And it's not Satie. He was later, and that's. Maybe it is Beethoven. That was about the time of Beethoven.
Tell him the letters.
That was about the time of Beethoven.
David, the first letter's right, but nothing else is. You have the first letter of the composer right.
What? The first letter of the composer?
You have at least the first letter of the composer.
I said Beethoven?
I'm not going to give you a hint here.
They did an off-Broadway version of his music with a hanky, a floating hanky.
Yeah, I remember that was Symphonie Fantastique.
Yep.
All right, so I'll say Symphonie Fantastique, and the composer is
my favorite.
It's not Beethoven. Maybe it was the S I said was Satie. The two names, Sanson. Okay, I'm going to say Symphonie Fantastique, Sanson. That's my guess.
That is your answer, Symphonie Fantastique, Sanson. So here's the deal. The composer was, in fact, Lin-Manuel Noriega. Now, that's partially correct, David Schuer.
Okay. Which part?
Well, you got the right. It was, in fact, Symphonie Fantastique. That was the correct answer in terms of the composition. But now, Dr. Sue, you get to steal if you know the name of the composer of that piece. You get 1 point if you get that right. So if you want, I'll read the question again. It was 1830, premiering tonight in Paris, Symphonie Fantastique, whose subtitle is translated as Episode in the Life of an Artist in 5 Sections. Leonard Bernstein said it's psychedelic. You take a trip, you wind up screaming at your own funeral.
No, you end up at a funeral.
Oh, is that what was? And can you name? The program music piece is Symphonie Fantastique, but who was the composer?
Well, I'll tell you this. There's a great movie called Fantasia, made by Disney.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that if I can say that, I should get a point.
No. I remember Fantasia too, and there's a hippo dancing and Mickey with the bucket and doing all, but you gotta, do you know the composer of Symphonie Fantastique?
Well, if it was Sanson, I think I can spell it. Can I get a point for spelling?
That's what I guessed, and I was wrong.
Wrong. Well, then who cares? All right. If it begins with a B, it's a composer whose name begins with a B. Bubba.
Bubba. It was a country music song written by Bubba. It was a Fantasia about his truck. No, I will, because Joyce also gave David the hint, I will also give you the hint that there was an off-Broadway show that used this composition, and it had floating handkerchiefs and stuff.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah.
This is a hint?
That's a hint. No, not helping?
By me, it begins with a B. By me, that's not a hint.
It's not by Mir Bis Duchesne.
No, by Mir Bis Duchesne. That's a very good song.
Well, but I'm going to need a guess from you, Dr. Sue. I'm going to need you get a chance to steal if you can think of.
Bubba.
Is Bubba your final answer?
His first name was Hector. Hector.
I can't. You can't.
His name was Bubba. Bubba the Bear. It was Berlioz, the greatest composer. Berlioz.
Oh my gosh.
Ah, she got it.
Yeah, not without some coaching, but she certainly. Deb, are you okay that I give her the point for that because it was in fact.
Yes, I want the point because I got
Yes,
got
but
Berlioz, the greatest
in
composer.
future we can't. Okay, we both got hints, but we can't have hints like this anymore.
Yeah, no, that's only fair. But
Yes, we can. Yes, I will do that. But
Joyce couldn't help herself because it's literally her favorite classical composition and her favorite composer.
and I do remember the off-Broadway show that used the.
I hated that show
They
so much.
butchered it in the show, Davids. Both Davids.
If you ever saw, it was called the show was it called Symphony Fantastique?
It was called Symphony Fantastique. Yes.
Yeah, and it was just basically cloth going back and forth in
It
water.
was Basil Twist, and they had it was in an aquarium. And,
I know. Oh,
the shapes were moving, the lights were flashing, and it was nominated. I had to see it because it was nominated for a Drama Desk Award for Unique Theatrical Experience.
well, it was unique. If it had been 5 minutes long, I would have loved it. I would have been like,
And it did win.
best thing ever.
I forget what won, but that was nominated.
It's no Wooster.
It's no Wooster Group, as Joyce is saying. All right, here we go. Now, Dr. Sue, this question goes to you. This is the second question of the quiz. It's for 2 points. If you get it right, you get 2 points. If you get it wrong, David gets to steal for 2 points. Here we go. 1848 is the year. There's gold in them thar hills. The California gold rush is on, thanks in part to confirmation by the 11th President of the United States, a Democrat who saw the gold rush as another way to expand the territory of the U.S. Name him. It's a toughie, I admit.
Well, you know what name is coming to my mind? It's Seward, Seward, but he was not the president. But the idea was the gold rush, and we expanded the territory into Alaska. I think that was what was going on. Now, who was the president? 1848?
Yeah, I'll read the question again. 1848 was the year. There's gold in them there hills. The California gold rush is on, thanks in part to confirmation by the 11th President of the U.S., a Democrat who saw the gold rush as another way to expand the territory of the country. Name him.
Of course, he could have gotten California because the gold rush was in California, and then later on it was in Alaska. But I'm trying to think who was president. Of course, 1840. I'm really not good at this. Who was president at the time?
I need you to take a stab.
Well, I am thinking it could have been President Goldie Hawn.
Goldie Hawn?
Well, she was known for gold.
Rush.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Yeah.
She was our first Jewish president. That would have been pretty cool. But
Could have been President. Well, could have been Goldie Hawn, and the gold rush was named after her.
Okay.
is that your final answer?
That's my final answer.
Oh my God, you got it right. That's 2 points. That is
I
not
can just
the correct answer. Now, David, you've done some history teaching, and you know your history. Do you know your?
Okay.
It's pretty.
All right, let's see.
Yeah.
I just had an image of Goldie Hawn on Laugh-In being the president. Just da, 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 da. You know, Dan, it's time to do the news. Okay, anyway. All right, let's see. Washington, Adams, Jefferson, Madison, Monroe, John Quincy Adams, Andrew Jackson, Martin Van Buren. Now, I know that the 10th president was, I think, okay, the 10th president, because we had a question about this a few weeks ago, and I believe that we had that the 10th president was Zachary Taylor.
Ooh.
So who was the 11th president? Was
I
it
have
Willard?
another idea.
Well, wait. You gotta let
Okay.
David.
All right. So I've got, okay, so the eighth president was Van Buren. I believe the 10th was William Henry Harrison, who died a month afterwards. So I think it's John Tyler. I'm going to say John Tyler.
Now, let's see if you tip the canoe in your favor. But what was your thing going to be, Doctor? You were going to say something, yeah, what was that?
Whoopi Goldberg.
Whoopi Goldberg. Oh, it wasn't Whoopi Goldberg, nor was it John Tyler. It was in fact
John Polk, James Polk.
Poker.
Hey, Polk.
Oh, okay.
It was Polk. That was a big thing for him in his presidency, was expanding the borders and the territory of the United States.
All right.
The gold rush was a way for him, as you said, Dr. Sue, for him to push west and to go into Colorado and California.
Okay.
Many times.
Okay, Polk.
All right,
I'll
so
remember.
nobody
Number
got
11.
that. We still have a 1-1 game, by the way. We are tied here in the Dave
All right.
Today, Yesterday quiz. The next question goes back to you, Dave, because
All right.
the year 1876, The Two Orphans, a French melodrama, was playing at this theater on the corner of Washington and Johnson Streets when fire broke out, killing nearly 300 people. Name that theater is a multiple choice. Okay. Was it the Washington Street Theater, the Johnson Street Theater, the Thomas R. Jackson Theater, or the Brooklyn Theater?
Oh my God. All right.
Theater historian that you are. 1876 was the year.
Huh?
The Two Orphans, a French melodrama, was playing in this theater on the corner of Washington and Johnson Streets when fire broke out, killing nearly 300 people. Name that theater. Was it the Washington Street Theater, the Johnson Street Theater, the Thomas R. Jackson Theater, or the Brooklyn Theater?
Oh God. I'm gonna guess the Brooklyn Theater.
Final answer?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Fine. Yeah.
Brooklyn strong in the house. You got it. You got it.
Okay.
And it's funny, nothing bad ever happened in the theater. Not in Washington, D.C., never anywhere. So, David, you have 3 points to Susan's 1, but Dr. can catch up a little bit now or all the way up. Let's see. Our next question is for you, Dr. Sue. 1929 was the year. Founded by Kurt Barthel in upstate New York, the American League for Physical Culture began what practice in the United States? And this is a multiple choice, okay? Was it meetings by nudist organizations, physical education in primary schools, art appreciation classes in museums, or the Fresh Air Fund? I'll read the question again. 1929 was the year. Kurt Barthel, in upstate New York, guy named Kurt Barthel, founded the American League for Physical Culture, which began what practice in the United States? Was it meetings by nudist organizations, physical education in primary schools, art appreciation classes at museums, or the Fresh Air Fund? Not the Fresh Bear Fund.
No, I like everything bear. So I vote for the nudists.
You vote for, is that your final? I know it's the Bears' final answer, but is that your final answer, Dr. Sue?
Yes, I stand by my bear.
Well, rawr. You're right. Yes, indeed. You got it. That is true. The nudist organization, naked camps and things like that, that was started with the American League for Physical Culture. Well done. This is a tie game. 3-3. Dr. Sue and David Shurigan are Today, Yesterday quiz on this December.
Okay. Great.
Yeah. We got a game. All right, here we go.
Jim Nabel said, winning the Mexican-American Wars were found as California, hence the gold rush.
Well, our guest next week has tuned in, a guy named Jim Nabel, and he is saying that one of the other things that started the gold rush was the Mexican-American War, and that territorial stuff. But it was also Poe. All right, here we go. Next question. This is our 5th question, so this one goes directly first to David Sheward.
Okay.
1941. Right up your alley. Premiering tonight on Broadway is a melodrama by English dramatist Patrick Hamilton.
Oh.
No, it's not Hamilton. It's just Patrick.
Oh, I beg your pardon.
Nothing.
I'll have what
I'll
have what he's having.
It's about an overbearing husband who delivers.
Oh, okay.
All right. Wait. All right. Hold on.
Go ahead.
I don't even have to read the rest of the question.
Go ahead.
But here's the deal. When the show debuted in England in 1938, the play had one title. In America, it had another. For a point apiece, name both titles.
Okay. When it was in England, it was called Gaslight. And in America, it was called Angel Street.
I'm not even going to fake not anything there. Yes. Well done. You just had it with Patrick Hamilton. I didn't even have to read the synopsis. Well done, David. David has the lead now, 5-3 in our game. Well done, man.
And it's actually in the lyrics in a song On the Town, where Nancy Walker, the cab driver, I think it's come to my house, come up to my place, and Nancy Walker is trying to lure the young sailor to her place, and he says he wants to see Tobacco Road, and she said that show closed. The actors watched their feet, and now it's Angel Street, because that was the long running show of the day
in America, in the United States, and
on Broadway.
Of course, it was Gaslight with Ingrid Bergman and was it Lord Raines, or who was the bad guy?
The movie was Ingrid Bergman and Charles Boyer.
Sorry.
And Joseph Cox.
Wow.
And Angela Lansbury. Angela Lansbury.
Joyce loves Angela Lansbury. This is ticking all her boxes.
Like 18.
What? Sorry?
She's only a bird in a gilded cage.
Yeah, she played the cheeky maid, and she was nominated for an Oscar.
Wow. Yeah, when it comes to this kind of trivia, David is sort of non-pareil in this. But Dr. Sue, I hope you like movies too, because this next question goes to you.
Okay.
Movie question from the same year, 1941. So December 5th, 1941, released today by Paramount Pictures. This classic satire stars Joel McCrea as a movie director of shallow comedies who wants to make socially relevant films, but with Veronica Lake in tow, learns the error of his ways. For 1 point, name the film. For the other point, its writer and director.
I know this. It's just the name of it has to come to my mind. I
And
know he goes on a journey. He goes all over America and he encounters, all the poor people, and it's the Depression. And somehow the word great is coming to my mind. It's
I'll read the question one more time.
Yeah, I know that movie. But what is it? It's an adventure. I don't know why the word great is in my mind, is great in the title. Is the well, you can say it again.
I'll say the question again. 1941 was the year. Released by Paramount Pictures today. Classic satire with Joel McCrea as a movie director of shallow comedies who wants to make socially relevant films, but with Veronica Lake in tow, learns the error of his ways. For 1 point, name the movie, but also the person who wrote and directed it for the second point.
Because I think the person
Answer.
I can't think of the words. I know it, but I just can't think of the words. Okay, go on.
You want to take a stab at either the title or the writer director?
Let me think. Well, America is not in the title. It's not that. It's no, I can't think of it. I can't think of it.
Okay. I'm afraid that you won't get that question, but David gets a chance to steal if he knows one or both of the answers on this. David, do I need to read it again, or are you good?
No, I have an answer.
Let's hear it.
Okay, the film is Sullivan's Travels.
Right.
And director/writer is Preston Sturges.
Right.
No, it was Frank. No, you're right. You're absolutely right, David Sheward. It was indeed Preston Sturges and the classic film Sullivan's. I remember watching that and being surprised how dark it got in like the last 20 minutes before it sort of picked up. I was like, this is supposed to be a comedy. What the hell's going on here? And then yeah.
It's interesting. The next film that Veronica Lake made was I Married a Witch, and Joel McCrea was asked to be the lead, and he said, life is too short to make 2 movies with Veronica Lake. He did not get along with her.
Whoa. I was reading her biography. She was like soused for so much of that period, and it was had a rather difficult time of things. And
but she had, there was something about her. She was she had a charismatic, thing, but her career soon faded after that.
Yeah. Well, she couldn't do very many things. I mean, she only could play a certain very limited role, I think. And, and when there was something, when you said Sullivan's Travels, it's like I couldn't think of it, but I remembered there was something special about the title. And there is something special about that title, Sullivan's Travels. It is a special title, because
Gulliver, well, it was also a nod to Gulliver's Travels.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to our next question in the quiz, which, by the way, David now has something of a commanding lead. It's 7-3. And I do believe that David gets the next question directly.
Okay. All right.
This question is for you, David. So we roll all the way up to 1968.
Ah, okay.
Arrested Today at an anti-Vietnam War protest is an author whose first book sold millions of copies and whose later books included A Teenager's Guide to Life and Love, Raising Children in a Difficult Time, and A Better World for Our Children. Name this Yale graduate, that's for you, Dr. Sue, whose left-wing politics did negatively affect book sales.
I'm thinking that it could be Benjamin Spock, who was a very famous baby doctor. And I think the character on Star Trek was taken from that. They sort of said, oh, that's an interesting sounding foreign name. Let's go with that. And he was a very famous baby doctor. What were the titles of the books again?
I'll read the question again. 1968 was the year. Arrested in an anti-Vietnam War protest is this author whose first book sold millions of copies, but also wrote A Teenager's Guide to Life and Love, Raising Children in a Difficult Time, and A Better World for Our Children. Name this Yale graduate whose left-wing politics did negatively affect book sales.
I'll say Benjamin Spock.
Yeah, I would too. Does it count if I say it after he says it? Can he say it first, and then I say you're right, and then I get half point?
1/16 of
that's the way it works for women. He says it first, I say you're right, and then I get a half a point.
No, first of all, David, you are right. It's
okay. Final so I should get at least a drink. I should get, he's right. I say you're right, and then I get dinner. That's the way it works.
Well, I'll give you dinner, of course. That's different.
That's what I want. You're right, and I get dinner. That's the way it works.
That's a little bit different. David is not single. He is very.
I do have a husband, but dinner is fine.
Yeah, that's what it works. I know how things work.
DoorDash.
Anyway, so
together. Okay, so here's the deal. We have a not quite a runaway game, but David's getting a lot of points here. He's getting
a lot of points. And what am I getting? Buckus.
Not Buckus. You got 3.
Where's
you're getting an education.
Yeah.
But you do get to try and get 2 points now, Dr. Sue, with our next question, which goes all the way to 1974, and it is a multiple choice. Okay. The final original.
More than one?
I'm sorry?
Does that mean more than one?
More than one possible answers.
Yeah.
I like questions where there's only one possible answer, and you tell me, and then I say it, and then I win.
The final original episode
Yeah.
of Monty Python's Flying Circus.
What?
Oh, David has the voice.
Oh, that's right, David. Although this is Dr. Sue's question,
Oh, no.
we may
Yes.
have the Pepper Pot woman's voice of Monty Python.
Okay.
The final episode original episode airs on BBC tonight. Which of these things is not true about the TV series? Which of the following multiple choice questions is not true about Monty Python's Flying Circus? A, some live in-studio audiences during the first season expressed disappointment because they thought they'd be seeing an actual circus. Or, calling unwanted internet mail spam was inspired by the Python spam sketch. Or was it, in order to air repeats of the show, the BBC first had to ask permission from Terry Gilliam because he had the tapes? Or, before settling on Monty Python's Flying Circus, the group was going to call the show An Owl, a Spoon, and a Bucket. So, Dr. Sue, that is, it's a long question, but I'll read it again. 1974 was the year that the last original Monty Python episode aired on the BBC tonight on December 5th. But which of these facts is not a fact at all? Was it some live in-studio audiences during the first season of the show expressed disappointment because they thought they were coming to see an actual circus? Or calling unwanted internet mail spam was inspired by the Python spam sketch? Or was it, in order to air repeats of the show, the BBC first had to ask permission from Terry Gilliam because he had the tapes? Or was it, before settling on Monty Python's Flying Circus, the group was going to call the show An Owl, a Spoon, and a Bucket?
I vote for the spam answer.
So you say that is not true. That had nothing to do with.
Well, I'm torn.
You should get surgery then, because that would be painful. Yeah.
Spam and owl, because if I were told the show was a circus, I would want to see a circus. So I think that's true. Now, the next possibility was about getting the rights. And I know you always have to get rights for everything. I think that's true. So now we're left with spam and owls. Now, spam, you know what? I still think that's not true. Why? Because spam was lunch meat in a can, and it was American. So no. That's where it comes from. It comes from that, I think. And English people, those Brits, they tend to like things like owl and spoons. They think those things are funny.
Yeah, the English just love spoons.
They love things like there was this poem, The Owl and the Pussycat went to sea in a
beautiful urine green boat, actually.
in a beautiful, not urine, you're really disgusting. In a beautiful,
We're waiting for an answer here, Dr. Sue. Yeah.
had something money, lots of money, and lots of honey wrapped up in a 5-pound note. See, they like things like owls and pussycats. So they think those things are funny. And they throw in spoons, and they have like this poem about the moon jumping up over the moon and the spoon and the dish and the spoon. And they think those things are entertaining. That's the way they think. So I think, it's typical of a British sense of humor. And I think spam, which, by the way, by the way, is very pertinent to this show because it happens not to be kosher.
Oh, I was wondering where you were going with it. I was wondering where you were going with it.
Yes,
Yeah.
spam is not kosher.
I'd rather
Certainly it's not. Well, I'm not a rabbi. I'm Dave. I keep this away when the rabbi's on. But
I'd rather have.
have you made a decision sometime this year of your answer on the question?
That's my answer. That's my final answer.
Is
Which one? The
Spam.
spam? Oh, okay.
Spam.
David, first of all, no matter what, whether she's right or wrong, I'm going to need you to say spam in the Monty Python waitress sort of way.
Okay. How would you like some spam, dear?
Well, Dr. Sue, I'm afraid that is the incorrect answer. Spam, when they invented,
Oh.
when they started spam, it
I'm
was
sorry. We inspired something on the internet, dear.
so.
No, I don't think it, I'll tell you what, I think it doesn't matter if it's correct or incorrect. The fact is, it was a very good answer.
It was a great answer.
Yes, the logic was interesting.
To get points for a great answer, even if not correct. And
Oh, your desperation is showing, Dr. Sue.
So
Your
David,
desperation is showing.
yeah, there's a question on the table here from 1974, last day that the first run of Monty Python ended
Okay.
on the BBC. What was not true about Monty Python's Flying Circus in general? Was it that some live in-studio audiences during the first season expressed disappointment because they thought they would be seeing an actual circus? We know it's not the spam thing. In order to air repeats of the show, the BBC first had to ask permission from Terry Gilliam because he had the tapes, or before settling on Monty Python's Flying Circus, the group was going to call the show An Owl, a Spoon, and a Bucket.
First of all, as Prime Minister, I would like to say that program was a stain on the national culture scene, vulgar and disrespectful to the hard-working, napkin and handkerchief using citizens of our great country.
And by the way, Dr. Sue, this is David Schuert's impersonation of Sir Edmund Heath. So just,
No, it's actually Margaret Thatcher. It's actually Margaret Thatcher. So,
but what about the whole answer, which I actually helped him to get?
so I believe that the correct answer. So the correct answer is not spam, the spam one. I believe it is the one about the owl, the spoon, and the bucket, because I think I read in a book that the actual original title was going to be Owl Stretching Time, not Owl, a Spoon, and a Bucket. So I will go with number D.
number D. Is that your final answer, though?
Yes, it is.
Well, just to open, I just need to write this down. But yes, indeed, David Schuert. In fact, there were several titles that they were coming up with before they settled on Monty Python. One of them was Owl Stretching Time. You are correct. Another was A Horse, a Spoon, and a Bucket. So that was
so you combine them together. That was sort of a trick.
exactly that was the little trick of the question. And also another one was Gwen Dibley's Flying Circus, because Gwen Dibley was Michael Palin's piano teacher back in the day. And the Gilliam thing was true, not because of just getting rights from the performers, but the BBC, like so many like American stations back in the 1950s, they would take the tapes to save money. They were going to wipe them. They're going to erase them and reuse them. And Terry Gilliam said, hell no, he bought them. And then he ended up having the BBC ask his permission to start rerunning the things, because he had the actual tapes with the show on them.
I hope he got paid for it.
I imagine, yeah. He did. He was probably making more money from that than he was originally animating for the show. Anyway, we have an 11-point lead for David Schuert, who's picking up a lot of points now.
Get any points. And it
You got three.
You have three. Three.
Three.
You got three.
Three. That's good because that's an entree. That's a glass of wine, and I'm just torn between appetizer and dessert. I think I'm going to go for appetizer.
Well, maybe you'll get 5 points soon, and then you can have a whole big 5-course meal. So hang back because our next question still goes to David now because it's our question.
All right.
Because David stole the last couple of questions here.
And I helped with the owl question.
Maybe you did a little bit. Here we go. Here's the next question. We go to the year. In the year 2000, released today, was a movie soundtrack album that went on to win the Grammy for Album of the Year. Only the second time a soundtrack album won that honor. The movie, a Coen Brothers comedy about 3 convicts who escape from a chain gang.
Okay. Oh, I didn't know this won the Grammy for best album of the year. Huh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
The movie is Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? And interestingly, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? And it's sort of tied, it was kind of, I think it was like a satire or a tribute to Sullivan's Travels, which is kind of interesting. Oh, actually, the movie that Joel McCrea's character was going to make was called Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Which is where the Coen brothers got the title.
You not only got this answer right, you got all the trivia I was going to put in there right, too. That is absolutely true. And it just connected with Sullivan's Travels, so you got those points, too. Yes. Dr. What?
Chain of fools.
Okay.
Is that in the movie?
Where you want me.
Yeah.
I ain't nothing but your fool. Chain, chain, chain.
Was that in the movie?
Chain.
I don't think so. No, I think that would have been more likely in the Blues Brothers or something. But thank you for that musical break, Dr. Sue.
One other thing.
Name the singer?
Aretha Franklin. But Dave, what?
Oh, one other thing was the film star George Clooney and my college, someone I went to college at the same time as, Holly Hunter.
Ooh.
Oh. What do you mean at the same time as? You know, she was in your...
We were at Carnegie Mellon University in Pittsburgh at the same time. I didn't know her, but we were there at the same time. And I would see her perform in the drama department's productions.
Cool. Was he impressed? Well, I'm impressed at Dave's lead right now because I don't think anybody's gotten this many points in our show before. We actually have for... let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13 points for Dave. So you kind of looped around Dr. Sue. But Sue, as we promised, you have a chance to get a couple more points as we finish our game. You're just on your own.
Yeah.
Here's the last question of the game today. The year, Dr. Sue, is 2006.
Oh.
Selling for nearly £500,000 at auction in London today is the iconic little black dress Audrey Hepburn wore in Breakfast at Tiffany's. Oh. This dress was created by which fashion designer who died just 2 years ago?
I knew it was a black dress. Well, who died recently?
2 years ago from now? Before now? Or
2 years from now. If he is alive, 2 years from now he's going to die.
I meant 2 years ago today or 2 years ago before the auction?
Today. He died in 2008.
Oh, okay. All right.
Oh, is it Givenchy?
I don't know. Is that your final answer?
That is my final answer.
Way to end on a good note, Dr. Sue. It wasn't.
Really?
It was taken. It was in fact you. So well done. You picked up. See, you picked up 5 points. That's very good.
Yes.
Guest. 5-course dinner. So you get your appetizer, you get your soup, you get your main course, you get dessert, and I don't know, a finger bowl.
A lot of food. Can I trade in one of them for 2 glasses of wine?
Yeah, why not? Why not?
In one of the dishes, I get a glass wine. I get, this is good. This is
Yeah.
all, actually, no, it's okay. I'll keep the wine. Just the food will be okay. Just bring all the dishes. I'll have a great dinner, and then I can take a picture and send it to you of the dinner.
Yeah, I think that sounds fair. So
You can send the food over because COVID, you're stuck, and maybe I'll invite someone. We could, we have dinner for two.
yeah, sitting opposite sides of the room with masks on.
Very distant, socially distant. Don't touch me. Don't come near me.
Oh.
Get off me.
Anywho, I don't know what that means. And we have been playing the yesterday game with the delightful Dr. Sue Horowitz. We want to thank you, by the way, so much for being on the program. Thank you for chatting with Rabbi Sol Solomon. Let's send everybody to your website, drsue.com, drsue.com. That is where you can hear her songs, where you can find out about buying the book. Is Queens of Comedy still in print? Can people still get a first-run copy of it? Or
actually, that's a very interesting question. Yeah, it's in print, and it's digital. And Amazon, I just went on their site, and they told me their last hardcover was on sale for $160.
Wow,
so
really?
I called them up, and I said, well, I've got a few at home. Maybe we could work something out. And then the soft cover, which they're also selling for a very high price. And I don't know if they have any new ones. They've got used ones or this and that. I've got a few at home. And there's also the digital. If people want to buy it, they can go to Amazon if I make that deal, or they can get it directly from me. And I will not I can tell you this, I will not charge you $160 for the book.
well, you're Jewish, you'll charge $158. But now David Sheward, your George C. Scott book, is that available?
It is on Amazon. I haven't checked the price, so it did not get a second printing. It is in the first print, and it's on Amazon. I think you can buy it.
And what's it called again? Rage and Glory?
It's called Rage and Glory: The Volatile Life and Career of George C. Scott.
Right. And so when are you going to do Rage and Glory: The Volatile Life of Rabbi Sol Solomon? Have you thought about?
Well, I don't know. Is his life full of rage and glory?
It's full of acid reflux.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Joyce just said that your book, David, is $29.95 on Kindle.
And the hard
Oh, okay.
Wow.
What's on Kindle?
Hardcover is $56.17.
Oh, of which I get nothing.
Why do you get nothing?
Oh, it's a long story.
That's why I think it's better to buy directly from the author, because they have to pay all this money to Amazon, and I only get a small cut.
I have copies. I do have some copies myself at home. So
of course you have your own
Is
copies.
one of your websites, David, is it on the David desk? Is there a place where people can buy it and send?
that's an idea.
Yeah.
That's an idea. I might set that up.
contact David from his site.
Yeah, you can. I assume there's a contact also on one of your websites where people can email you or fill out a form and say hi to you and buy your book. And that's great.
They can put in a comment, and as it's interesting, I have had one person ask me, whatever happened to Trish Vanderveer, who was Scott's fifth wife?
Yeah.
And as if I would know, but I was not able to. You would think that I would, but I was not able to. She just sort of dropped off the map after their marriage ended, and she stopped acting, and no one's heard from her. So I tried to reach her, but she was very difficult to get a hold of.
Okay. Well, no, but at least I think I sent you that email. That email came to me.
Oh, yeah, that was from you. Yes.
I don't know why it came.
I had to reply to the person and tell them she just dropped off the grid.
Yeah. Well, hopefully she's healthy. Hopefully you guys stay healthy. Dr. Susan Horowitz, excuse me. Thank you so much for being with us in the neighborhood today. Thank you, David Sheward, for being with us every week, we hope, and stay well, both of you. And, not once, I guess I didn't make any puns this week. So, David Sheward, could you just say it anyway?
Oh, Mr. Peabody.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Have a great week. Have a great holiday. Happy Hanukkah to you, Dr. Sheward. Happy Christmas to you almost, David Sheward.
Happy holidays. I'm starting the war on Christmas right now. Happy holidays.
I'm with you. All right. Bye-bye, man. Thanks so much.
Bye. Thank you.